Okay. I have to say some things. Okay. None of my viewers think of me as someone who has to remain sound all the time. There was another shooting in Baton Rouge. And please excuse the rain outside. There was another shooting in Baton Rouge yesterday where Oathbreaker, that's what he was, killed 3 police officers. One police officer is very fucked up, for lack of a better term, but he is expected to survive. Obviously, he'll be retired medically, unless they can give him a desk job to finish out his career, but he's very fucked up physically, but he will survive. Unfortunately, his colleague is not so lucky. His colleague is on life support right now, and I pray to God that he will survive, but like I said, that's in God's hands, not mine. The doctors are doing the best they can, and I pray to God that he comes through, but there's a slight possibility that he may join the others that passed away. Now, I am fucking sick and tired of this shit. There was a detective on Fox News yesterday who said that we need to have a voice. Someone needs to speak. Okay, wish granted. The media in this country, and don't give me this shit about the First Amendment, okay? The Founding Fathers gave us the First Amendment so that the media could report to the people the corrupt shit their government was doing. Okay? That's why the First Amendment exists. Now, the media looks for a situation where a black person is killed by a white police officer. There was an incident in California where a 19-year-old white man was pulled over. He got out of his pickup truck. He put his hand behind him. One officer with the Beretta and one officer with the 12 gauge told him, take the hand away, open it up, drop what's in it, get on your knees, blah, 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 hands in the air, blah, blah, blah. He continued to hide his hand. They shot him. He continued to move his hands and dig in his pockets. They shot him again and he died. Now, that might be justified because they could have said, hey, reach for a weapon. We don't know. The reason why you don't know about that story, unless you watch my channel, is because he is white. The media looks for a specific case where a black person is killed by a white police officer. And the media immediately looks for the stupidest people they can find. That's why Al Sharpton and all of Hollywood, they want to know why the media keeps calling. Now they know. And the media looks for the stupidest person they can find who also has bad problem handling skills, and they tell the stupidest person they can find that a racist white police officer killed an innocent black person. Years after the facts are known. Alexa, stop please. Years after the facts are known, guess what? The media will still regurgitate the same story. Example, Ferguson, Missouri. The media tells us a white supremacist police officer killed a black child by shooting him in the back as he was running away crying like a baby. Okay, and you can stop a guy on the street today and he'll say the same thing. Oh, Mike Brown, that was the kid that was shot in the back. Quentin Tarantino, a year later, went down to New York City, and while New York City police officers were protecting him, he said, Michael Brown Jr. shot in the back while he was at his grandma's house. Now, the truth is that Michael Brown Jr., the child, was an 18-year-old, 6'4", 300-pound thug. Now, the media deliberately did not tell you, that he was robbing a convenience store. Meanwhile, the white supremacist police officer was saving a black baby's life. Yes. And having saved black children's lives before, I understand how that feels. And I would feel terrible if I saved a black person's life, or a black child's life, a black baby's life, and someone called me a racist. So, 5 minutes later, the 18-year-old, 6'4", 300-pound child is punching the police officer in the face and grabbing his gun. And last time I checked, when you punch a police officer in the face and grab his gun, you're going to get shot. Last time I checked. But the media tells this shit to the stupid people, knowing the stupid people will riot, set fires, loot, trash cop cars, beat the shit out of people, fucking kill people. Okay? This is not an accident. This is not an incident. Okay? This is deliberate. This is happening deliberately. In Baton Rouge, and listen to the Moms Demand Action with that cunt Shannon Watts and her fucking whoremaster Mike Bloomberg. Okay? Moms Demand Action. I read the letter in a previous video and I'll post it if you want. I'll email it to you if you want. I'll put it in the comments below if you ask me to. Moms Demand Action posted a letter about why the NRA hates black people. And to illustrate this, Moms Demand Action said several things. One of the things they said was that the NRA did not support the black protesters in Ferguson in the wake of the Michael Brown incident. Okay? Well, there were no black protesters in Ferguson. There were black rioters in Ferguson. And to be honest, yes, there were whites and Hispanics in with them. It wasn't entirely a black thing. There were whites and Hispanics in with them. And there were black shop owners, Hispanic shop owners, Asian shop owners that had their lives destroyed. Once in the immediate aftermath and once a year later when the case was dismissed for grounds of self-defense justifiable. Okay? And Moms Demand Action, and the NRA obviously will not support rioters, but Moms Demand Action said they're black protesters and the NRA won't support them because they hate black people. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Okay? Moms Demand Action says the police shot a black man in the back for carrying a gun, even though carrying a gun open or concealed is legal. Okay? Moms Demand Action deliberately. They didn't make a mistake. They made a purpose. Fuck. Moms Demand Action deliberately lied about the man being shot in the back. 2 videotapes clearly show the man is being shot in the chest. Moms Demand Action deliberately did not say that the man, Alton Sterling, had a career in crime, domestic violence, burglary of an inhabited dwelling, assaulting a police officer, possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute, unlawful possession of weapons, statutory rape, and because of his extensive criminal record, he was ineligible from practicing the Second Amendment. And he was not shot because he was selling CDs. They identified the person. We don't have his name, the police do. A black person called 911 and said that Alton Sterling threatened to kill him with a gun. The police came to investigate that allegation. Alton Sterling refused to comply with a verbal command, refused to comply after being tased, refused to comply after being physically restrained, and it is possible, perhaps even likely, that Alton Sterling was reaching for his fucking gun, which he was not allowed to have as he was a felon. And it is more likely than not the officers shot him because they felt that he was going to reach the gun before they could get him under control. But Moms Demand Action deliberately lies because their narrative is that the NRA hates black people. Even though every gun control organization says the NRA hates black people, even though every gun control organization says the NRA hates cops, okay, they are more than willing to take a black criminal, Alton Sterling, and just say, oh, he's a man with a gun. And the NRA doesn't want to support him because the NRA doesn't like black people. They are contributing to the problem. That Moms Demand Action article was the most disgusting race-pipping article I have ever read. Now, let's talk about someone whose name I shall not mention. Okay? He went to a funeral for 5 Dallas police officers who were killed by a black supremacist. Yes, the Ku Klux Klan are white supremacists, ISIS are Muslim supremacists, and Black Lives Matter are black supremacists. I'm sorry, if you want to lie, go somewhere else. Okay? And he whose name I shall not mention goes to this funeral of 5 police officers with their families in the front row, with their bodies there, with their colleagues there, with other colleagues from all around the country, including from my area there. He says, you know, Alton Sterling's family is suffering. Really. Okay? The career criminal who had a gun he didn't need, who was refusing to comply with police during a lawful interrogation, resisting arrest, possibly reaching for the gun, causing his own death. The families of the 5 police officers who were killed while protecting protesters. Think about that. The police were protecting the people who were protesting against them. And 5 police officers were killed while protecting the people that didn't like them. Okay? Their families don't give a fuck that the week before the career criminal who caused his own death, their family is upset. They don't give a fuck. Now, he whose name I shall not mention also brought up, look, it's the incident. Throughout history, we've had a lot of problems with law enforcement, police brutality, blah, blah, blah. Yes, 50 years ago, white police officers used to sick dogs on peaceful black people that legitimately wanted freedom. And yes, on their off-duty day, white police officers put on white robes and white hoods and lynched peaceful black people that legitimately wanted freedom. They did that because the Democratic Party told them to. So you are so upset that 50 years ago, white police officers beat and killed innocent black people. And you're so upset about that, that 50 years later, at a 5-person police funeral for 5 officers killed on the same night, you're going to bring that up. You know, 50 years ago, before these guys were born, these guys that died here, before they were born, other police officers in other states hurt black people. Now, you're so upset that 50 years ago, police officers hurt black people, but yet you joined the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party that hired these police to hurt black people. The Democratic Party that wrote the Jim Crow laws you're always complaining about. Okay? Well, you know what? It's like a Jewish guy. A Jewish guy is not going to join the Nazi Party and then complain that 70 years ago there were gas chambers. Seriously. Okay? My friend, Staff Sergeant Courtney Hollingsworth, was killed in action in Baghdad, Iraq on September 9th, 2007. Okay? If someone went to that funeral and said, you know, the family members of a terrorist who was killed at another battle are upset. That's what it is. Alton Sterling is to police officers in Dallas as Staff Sergeant Courtney Hollingsworth is to terrorists in Afghanistan. Okay? Completely different location, completely different side of the argument, completely different reason. Okay? Okay? Now, this is deliberate. This is cop hating. You hate the cops suck. Okay, I have a solution for you. Yes, I have a perfect solution for you. Okay? You don't like cops and cops suck. And you hate cops to the point where you're more than willing to lie about cops. You're more than willing to stir up riots in response to cops. Okay? And you're more than willing to watch fucking animals tear their own fucking neighborhoods apart because of some shit they don't understand. Okay? That's right. They're fucking breaking into stores. They're setting pharmacies on fire. They're beating the shit out of old ladies in their own fucking neighborhoods. They're fucking barbarians, man. That's fucking disgusting. Holy shit. Okay? Here's my solution for you. Okay? All these celebrities, you know, Dr. Phil is one. Pink, singer Pink is one. She was in a video. Alicia Keys is one. Chris Rock is one. Jordan Sparks, that cunt that blocked me 2 weeks ago, she is one. Okay. Al Sharpton. Okay. All these, Mike Brown's mother, Alton Sterling's whore wife. Okay. These race pimp motherfuckers, Quentin Tarantino. Okay. You got a problem? Call them. Okay. When someone breaks into your house at 3 o'clock in the morning with a fucking butcher knife and they're foaming at the mouth on PCP and you don't have a gun because you live because your house is a fucking gun-free zone because you're a liberal piece of shit, okay? You call Mike Brown's mother, Alton Sterling's widow, you call Trayvon Martin's mother, you call Dr. Phil, you call Al Sharpton, you call Louis Farrakhan, you call Jesse Jackson, you call Jordan Sparks, you call Pink, you call Alicia Keys, you call Chris Rock, okay? You call Quentin Tarantino, you call those motherfuckers, and you tell those motherfuckers that your house is being broken into. Watch what they say, okay? Let's see those motherfuckers that brainwash you to hate cops, okay? Let's see these motherfuckers in the media. Let's see those motherfuckers come to save your sorry liberal ass.